What is up, ladies and gentlemen? CJ the Cheese DJ here, and we are back today with some Conan Exiles. And today we're going to show you guys a few tips and tricks that we have discovered along the way while playing Conan Exiles. Now, we are entirely new to this game. We have obviously seen it in the past, but we are playing it on PS4 since it has just been released. So this is mainly for all those guys that haven't played it yet and they're jumping straight into it, because this is the full released version, none of the earlier stuff that was released, the early access stuff. So let's get into the tips and tricks, guys. Now, first off, the first trick and tip that I want to show you guys is do not be afraid to build houses. Now, when you build your first house, obviously you're going to outfit it with various structures and whatnot, but don't be afraid to build smaller structures with just a bed located in them. Now, to make an actual bed, all you require is leather, wood, and twine. So, it's not too hard. Leather you can gather from the corpses of creatures. Namely, you will be gathering them from the shalebacks located down in the desert section. You can currently see that we are all the way up here. We've decided to travel very far to get to the location we are at. But essentially, these little outposts allow you to travel in between locations really easily. So do not be afraid to build up multiple little shacks located around the map, because it makes traveling a lot easier, and if you do die, you will be able to spawn at selected locations, especially when you want to start traveling to the caves and everything, because they can get quite difficult. If you have locations already set up, you can easily fast travel to them and easily respawn into them again if you die while being in the cave. Now, number 2 is something that not really many people realize. So if you are on the consoles and you're playing on PlayStation 4, Xbox, you can simply hold down the interact key. You can see we've got these bushes here. You actually need to hold down interact to gather plant fibers and whatnot. However, if you actually hold down the key, you will still actually gather everything in your location. You can see here we're holding up our controller to the microphone. We're not pressing it or anything, and we're still actually gathering resources. So all you need to do is actually hold down the interact button. You don't have to keep button mashing it in order to gather resources. Just a little simple trick that you guys can learn there. Makes it a lot easier gathering plant fibers, stone off the ground, even branches and whatnot. So do take that into mind as well. Now, these next 2 tips go hand in hand. You can currently see that we've got a bear over there. One way that you can test yourself to determine whether or not you're actually dealing enough damage with your weapons is to attack a creature. I know it sounds insane, but hear me out. So essentially what you're going to do, if you attack a creature, you'll see this poor bear is up here in front of us. You can see that you actually see its health bar. If you to attack it, you can see that we absolutely did no damage to it whatsoever. This essentially is telling you that this enemy is going to be way too tough for you to kill. You can spend a whole heap of time here, standing here and stabbing it, but you can see how much damage we've actually done to its health with how many attacks we've done. So it's really not that much. Now, if you feel like you can't handle the enemy, and you're not dealing enough damage to them, well, there's a simple solution. Located around Conan Exiles, you can see there's plenty of water sources. All you need to do to get enemies off you is, well, you can either run away from them for a very long time, which believe me is a very long time, or you can simply find a body of water, jump into the water, and they will not actually follow you. You can see the bear is over there, and he's not following us. Now, this is a great way to also kite enemies. You can see we've got our base up on the hill over there. If we can, there we go. You can see our base up on the hill there. All you need to do, well, all we've done for the bear is when it gets close to our base, you kite it down to the water. We'll show you here. So you can see its current location is right here. So if we were to come onto land again, it will attack us. Simply walk down to the location where you want to kite it to. You can see we're going to bring it down here, and all you need to do is jump in the water and swim back around, and that is essentially the easiest way for you to get mobs away from your base. You can see the bear has totally lost interest in us now. He doesn't even care that we're swimming around in his lake. You could totally go around killing its babies. That technically makes it a female, and we'll be calling it a he the whole time. So this is just another little trick. Now, this works down in the desert location as well. You can see the multiple rivers forking around. Simply jump into those rivers and you will be safe from the mobs as well. So that is this tip and trick. Just a little easy one to get away from the mobs. Like I said, you can also run away from them. However, it's not really recommended. Well, it is recommended, but it will be a lot less effective than swimming in the water. Now, another little tip and trick for you to know is that when you're first starting off in your little desert location down the bottom here, down the south, all this desert location is loaded with a bunch of mobs, bunch of dangerous enemies that can potentially kill you if you aren't outfitted correctly. However, located along the riverbanks and, in the desert area, you will find that there are emu-looking things like gigantic hawk striders running around. they have nests of eggs. Now, as well as down here, you have the shalebacks as well, who have nests of eggs, and they are a great source of health, food, and water. Now, you can currently see that we have some eggs here with us, but our food and water is absolutely full. These eggs you can gather from the various nests that I've just stated will actually restore 5 of your water and 10 of your food. So it also regenerates your health a slight amount, which is a great way to get extra health for yourself, and you can see there 1 point of health every second. So it's a great way to, you know, save yourself if you're running low on food or water. You can eat these eggs and you'll actually get food and water from them, and they're really easy to gather, especially if you've got your rates bumped up a little bit on the servers. Instead of getting the single egg that is located in the nest, you could potentially get 9 eggs just from a single nest. So it's a great way to stock up on them, and I would definitely recommend stocking up on them because they are definitely a life changer. Now, another little trick is, while you have, say, weapons or your pickaxe or a hatchet out, you can still actually interact with the items located around the map. So you can still actually gather materials and plant fibers by holding down the interact button, which in the case of PlayStation 4 is square, or Xbox, I think it's, what is it, B, I think? I'm not sure, 100% sure. But yeah, that's just a little easy of life trick that you can learn. And, you know, it doesn't really make all that much of a difference, but it does help if you're running around, you know, with your weapons out. You can easily gather plant fiber while running around, or branches off the ground. It's just a great little thing to know. Okay, so these next ones are just a handful. So while we've been playing the game, we've had some struggles trying to figure out how everything works and whatnot. So our cooking fire, when we initially started, we didn't have a clue how to use it. We were like, okay, it tells you to put wood and meat and then something weird triangle thing, and then you get meat. We had no idea what that meant. Essentially what this means is that you actually need to turn the campfire on. Now, we had just put our meat and wood in, so we were like, okay, why isn't this working? What? See, this is what we had. We had this going on, and there was no cooking going on. There was nothing. We were like, game, what are you doing? Why aren't you working? We were constantly going in and out of it, taking the loot out of it, and just couldn't figure out for the life of us how to actually use this thing. Then we realized that you actually have to turn it on. You can see in the bottom left corner, there's an actual toggle on and off button. Make sure you actually turn things on and off when wanting to use them. The amount of times we have left our base without our forge being on by accident is astounding. Like, honestly, we have left it so many times. So do remember to turn your various things on located around your base. Now, another little thing as well, we're just going to quickly jump in here. Your attributes. You can see we've got 8 points. Do not put any points into accuracy whatsoever. Honestly, accuracy is not the greatest skill to have. It's good if you want to be an archer, if you want to focus solely on being an archer, but it is not worth putting points into your accuracy because, to be honest with you, this ranged weaponry is not the greatest. It doesn't deal that much damage. You're much better off putting your points into strength, agility, vitality, even encumbrance and grit. You know, pretty much everything else aside from accuracy. Honestly, I don't find survival all that great either. So you definitely need to go, I would say, with encumbrance, agility, strength, and vitality. They're your main 4 that you want to stick with. You could even sub out encumbrance and not worry about it and just focus on strength, agility, vitality, and grit. Now, one last thing before we conclude this video is when you come into your recipe learning menu, take into mind that there is more to it than just this. We spent the first easily 6 hours of the game not able to craft new stuff because we didn't have a clue what it meant with. You can see in the requirements it says the forge and the pickaxe. We didn't have a clue how to learn that because it was coming up for oranges for us. We didn't have a clue how to learn it. So essentially you can actually hit R1 and L1 or RB and you can scroll through, and there's a whole heap of different categories, I guess you could call them, where you can learn a whole heap of different stuff. Make sure you check them out because we didn't, and we were struggling and we didn't have a clue how to go about using it. So, oh god, it's pitch black now. So that is pretty much all there is for this this tips and tricks video, guys. We're standing in the darkness currently. We're gonna fix that. We will be having some more Conan Exile videos come out for you guys, so do stay tuned for that. But hopefully you've found the tips and tricks video rather useful. I really hope you have. There we go. We've got some light now going on. So yeah, that'll conclude today's video, guys. Hopefully you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and check out some more of the Conan Exile video, guys. Alright, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one.